Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Zero number 188S-CL. This is self-adhesive gasketing is what this is, in a clear material, and that's what the typical packaging looks like. This happens to be an 80-inch piece, so what the client has ordered here is 2 packages of 80-inch and then a package of 36-inch, so they could trim out a 3068 door. Let's go over it. I have a piece of it sticking out from the end of one of the other packaging, so we can get a good close look at it. Clear material, self-adhesive back. This is 3M brand adhesive, and if you have experience with adhesives and you've crossed paths with 3M, you've likely found out what I have, that it's, in my experience, it's the best adhesive there is. It just simply is. And using it for something like this, that's fire rated, that's used typically on a fire rated door, of course it is crucial that it maintains the integrity of the original installation over its lifespan. So this material, the 188S, is a silicone based traditional, typical teardrop shaped sort of material that's used not only as just typical gasketing, of course, but on doors that are smoke rated, fire rated is where you're going to use this, sound seal rated, air rated. Okay, so on those openings that have to meet those criteria, this is where you'd use the 188S. There is a link below this video to a document called product brochure, and that will allow you to pull this up and review this item against Zero's sister products as it pertains to this. What I like about the Zero product, the 188 and the 488, the 488 is just quite simply a bit smaller of a teardrop design, dimensionally smaller. I like the profile of the material, where you've got these small little ribs that are all but imperceptible on the camera, but you'll sure see them in the drawing. And that, along with the little groove that's down in here, allows you to create a better operating door and additional surface area, is what it is. Greater contact surface area with the frame and, of course, the door when the door is opening and closing. Being that traditional teardrop shape, this is going to be 1/2 inch wide and 1/4 inch thick. Okay. This is going to be available in black, brown, the clear, a gray finish, a white finish, and then the FS. And the FS is a reference to like an intumescent type of seal. And that intumescent material is sometimes required in certain sorts of door construction. It's an expandable type of material that will completely seal a door in the event that a specific temperature range is hit, meaning there's a fire at a door and this material just expands and seals off the door. So not only available in silicone in all of those different colors, but of course the intumescent version as well. That product brochure is just a one-page item from Zero in terms of the catalog, and what it's going to allow you to see is not only these traditional teardrop shape, but that double batwing style that's there, and then the other common designs. Looking at these part numbers, I can tell you right off the bat that the 188, of course, is certainly the most common that you're going to see on this page, but that double batwing style is fairly common for us to sell. The 8145 is not uncommon. The 8160 we've sold. The 824 we've sold. And the rest that I've not mentioned are just, in my experience, a bit less common. Doesn't mean they shouldn't be something you would consider, just giving you the crowdsourced sort of information as it pertains to what we've sold specifically in the past. Now, back to the extended description. 80-inch clear silicone. This is available in all the lengths, probably from, well, certainly from 2 foot to 8 foot. You can order this in any sort of length that you want. If you wanted 100 foot, order 25 foot pieces and indicate in the comment field, ship this as a 100-foot roll. However you want to do that. It's just per foot is what it is. It's obviously just trimmed with utility shears, that sort of thing. equipped with 3M self-adhesive tape. We've discussed that. This is from their Compressomatic series of material that's going to be fire rated, smoke rated, sound rated, air seal rated. You can also special order this with the anti-ligature version, and what that means is this. If you have this weather stripping in an environment that there are people that might be prone to harm themselves, this material, if it was anti-ligature, I could easily pull it apart and it would break. It would not take very many pounds to actually just break that apart. And the concept there is that it will prevent someone from harming themselves because it's intended to break, even though it completely maintains all of its original characteristics in terms of it being appropriate for a fire-rated application. So that's available as well. There is a link below this video to a document called Mounting Drawing, and it's really just installation instructions, and they are, of course, printed on the back of the package. Now, I've installed this material what seems to be countless times, and I like the material, and I use it to not only for its designed purpose, to smoke and fire seal a door where those are required, but I will more often actually just use it to augment existing weather stripping, because what you're doing is, let's say you have an opening where you've got weather stripping installed on the stops, and that door closes and makes contact. Well, on the face of the stop and the rabbet, that's another area by which you can apply additional weather stripping to help prevent the transmission of cold, air, particulate, all of the items that you want to keep or create a barrier to from flowing through. An application could be, you've got a shop in the back and a showroom in the front, and the shop is not only dirty and loud because there might be metal work going on. The showroom needs to be quiet and clean. So putting on additional material like this will make a noticeable effect on what's happening in terms of the transmission of all of the above to the side that you want to keep clean. Now, installing the material, it's certainly simple and straightforward as soon as you look at it, but there are some things that you have to know, or it's good to know if you've not done it before. Step one, the surface of the frame must be thoroughly cleaned where the gasketing is to be applied. Either a solvent cleaner or common detergent cleaner may be used. Make sure that the frame is completely free of any impediments or particulate, dust, dirt, oil, grease, everything. Loose paint, and if it's been recently painted, the paint must be fully cured, at least a week before you put it on. It has to be completely dry when you put the material on. If there's anything between the 3M brand adhesive and the frame, it's going to be a likely point of failure for your installation. If you've done all the above, this material will install flawlessly, and when you return to the job site the next day, will still be in a flawless condition. Gasketing is best applied at room temperature. Don't try to install it on an exterior wall in Chicago in the middle of winter. It's not going to work. Zero recommends that the gasketing be installed after the doors and frames have been finished painted and the paint is dried. We discussed that. The first piece of gasketing should be the head piece and should be the entire length of the head. There is, in the lower left-hand corner, lock side and head, showing where the head and the lock side material is applied. It's different from the hinge side. The lock and the strike jam, or the lock side, is to be mounted to the face of the stop. The hinge side is to be mounted to the rabbet as it's shown. And when you study the way that the door opens and closes, you'll see that that is the proper way to make contact with the material, rather than having the hinge side applied to the face of the stop as well. That would just serve to pull that weather strip or the 188S off. Cut it to the full width of the head. I like to cut the material to size, make sure it fits, and then apply it. If you're too long after you've cut it, measured and cut it, then there's a problem, because what you're probably doing is stretching the material, and you don't want to stretch it. You just want to have very flat, forceful, lots of pounds of pressure straight down onto what you're applying it to. If you're stretching it on, what will happen is it will resume its natural point of elasticity and probably break the bond. So if you're too long, start over. Immediately pull it off and put it back on. Then pre-measure, cut, and then apply your sides. They are saying leave approximately a 1/16 of an inch between the seal and the door frame for clearance when compressed. that 1/16 of an inch is referred to there, showing where you apply it, meaning it's a 1/2 of an inch right now. Well, when you do this, it's not any longer a 1/2 inch. It's a little bit wider than that. So just leave a 1/16 of an inch. Remove the paper backing from self-adhesive strip, 1 to 2 feet at a time. Press firmly into place as you align and install the gasketing at the head. Do not stretch the material during installation. When I install this material, I like to work with a shorter length because I don't want to unintentionally bump it on. I don't want to have a lot of the adhesive exposed to the atmosphere prior to putting it on, especially if it's a job site. Shorter lengths, and plus also I can control how straight it looks because, and you may never have noticed it, but if you ever did, look at hotel doors, it's just very wiggly and very curved, and a poor installation has been done, and it's because the time's not been spent to make it look nice. So if you're lacking a good linear sort of installation and you've got nothing but straight lines on the frame, and you'll see the gasketing if it's not straight, tells me that it was put on hurriedly and is possibly something that will be less than a long-lasting sort of installation. So I would be suspect of seeing that sort of installation. Therefore, just avoid doing it. Take your time, be patient, get it nice and straight. The strike jam gasketing is installed next. See the drawing for where that's going to go. That's what they're calling the lock side. Install the hinge jam last. Do not close the door immediately after installation, waiting 20 to 30 minutes for the adhesive to fully come to where it's bonded to the substrate material. Then you'll be able to close and leave the door closed overnight, that sort of thing. Here's the bottom line. Clean frame, completely clean. No oil, no dust, no nothing. Lots of pressure and patience, and then this installation will be superb. Now, people have used this material, like I had mentioned earlier, in applications well beyond what it's designed for, and really more so to augment is where people will use it. I've had people buy it for windows, camper tops, just areas where they want to have some silicone long-lasting seal or a buffer between two things. It's easy to install as well. Now, the name Zero is synonymous with all things weather stripping related, and so much so that if you have more than an occasional need, I'd like to recommend that you review their catalog, which you can link to from below this video to the manufacturer's page. They are a company that specializes in well thought out, well engineered, unique solutions for weather stripping problems. There are a client will call and say, what's the lead time of a 0368 AA automatic door bottom? Well, the lead time's the lead time, 2 weeks or whatever it is. I need something right now. Do you have an alternate? And my answer is, no, I don't. There are certain items that are so exceptional from Zero that, in my opinion, there is no alternate. There is no reasonable substitution to it. And that's just my personal experience of having sold the Zero product. If you have any questions on the Zero 188S-CL teardrop-shaped gasketing or any other Zero product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.